guys, how y'all doing? I'm super excited to be receiving Professor Lilly. As a matter of fact, I'm the first host to receive Lilly right here. Professor Lilly Mbinglo. Dr. Professor Lilly Mbinglo.
That's too much. That's too much.
She's Abaco's finest CPA. Yes. I call her Africa's finest CPA. You know, because she's breaking down boundaries, pushing a narrative forward. She's based in the United States, specifically Virginia, the state of Virginia, right?
Yes.
And Lilly's right here in Cameroon, and I was scared that I would not get to see Lilly.
Yes.
But Lilly played me a fast one.
Oh, I did.
While I was in the office, she was saying, "Oh, guy, you know, I'll not be able to see you this time. I just know when I go, I'll come back. Don't bother. I said, "No, I'll come back." She was only in the office, and just for her to send me a picture.
Yes.
And I was like, "This."
It's in the conference room with your name.
So, Lilly, welcome.
Thank you.
You're in Cameroon. Just tell us the perspective, because it's been a while you've not been in Cameroon.
Yes.
Since 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. No, 2012.
2012. Wow.
That's how long it's been.
That's like 12 years.
Exactly, so, 12 years.
Has anything changed?
You know, yes. I have to say, I'm impressed with the entrepreneurial spirit that I've seen.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of young people that are being very pushful, which I don't think we had that back then.
All right. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people have leveraged access to information to empower themselves.
Yeah.
Now, you see have people that will not use it to empower themselves.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
That's true.
But I'm genuinely impressed by what I have seen. I've seen a lot more young people taking, initiative.
Yeah.
I had two young girls. They finished from the university. They said they couldn't have a job. They started braiding hair. They come to you. They have their, and these girls are making a kill, right? They did my hair, and it's the kind of spirit. This one, yeah. Oh, I just did this yesterday. Shout out to them, Riri and Kelly.
Oh wow.
And so I'm seeing that, and I'm just blown away by that entrepreneurial spirit, because entrepreneurs do change the world.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's your takeaway from Cameroon right now.
That's
the first thing you noticed.
That's my first thing.
So what about the infrastructural gap? I like asking this question because I know living in a different reality. Even me just living here, when I step out, I'm a bit confused. Like, wait, what's happening? The level of disorder. And I'm imagining someone like you who's lived overseas for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So how is that shock for you?
We infrastructure-wise, we haven't changed much.
Yeah.
I think what we struggle with as a nation is maintenance.
Okay.
We put up really beautiful structures, but we don't maintain. And I think that's an area that we really need to work in. And then I grew up in Bamenda, right?
Yes.
And I miss my town,
Okay.
which sadly I couldn't go. So I can't speak for Bamenda. A lot of people say the roads are damaged and all of that. I've not seen any changes in Douala. The airport is still the airport. Everything else is still the same.
Yeah.
But so infrastructurally, I haven't noticed. I'm not surprised with what I met.
Okay, you're not surprised?
I'm not surprised with what I met. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not a shock for you?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh,
no,
really?
not at all. Because that's an area that we struggle in. We do not maintain. So not at all.
Being someone who's come from the young girl from Bamenda and becoming the professor right now in the States.
Yes.
That's way, way beyond your mom's and dad's imagination, right? What lessons can you tell us that you learned throughout your what made it possible?
Being intentional.
Okay.
Being intentional. I have to say, no matter what you do, you have to make up your mind to do it. That's the first thing. So being intentional. The second thing is choosing to show up in excellence.
All right.
Doesn't matter who is watching.
Okay.
You have to show up in excellence. Not for people. First
For
for you and unto God. Because everything you're doing, someone is always watching.
Yeah.
And if people know that you don't show up any way less than, they are proud to call your names in rooms.
Okay.
I know the third thing is being a person of integrity.
All right.
You're not always going to get it right. But so long as you can be honest, so long as you can communicate with people, so long as people can vouch on your word. If you tell people I will do something, you will do it. And if you cannot, you communicate why you cannot. I think these three things will really take you far.
Oh wow.
Intention, which means being very intentional about everything, making up your mind, excellence. Don't let mediocrity come close to anything. I know everybody would say, oh, they do it here like that, no problem. As a person, choose, say, I'll go the extra mile. And it literally takes nothing to go the extra mile.
No,
that's what people don't realize.
Not much.
It doesn't take much to go the extra mile. It's just a decision.
And one thing I realize is that you must be sincerely good.
Oh yes.
The heart set.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And then the third thing I talked about was integrity. But you see, all of these things I really founded on one thing: figuring out who you are in God, which revolves in your purpose, in clarity of what you're supposed to be doing and where you're headed.
So you found purpose.
Exactly.
So what is your purpose?
Well, my very first thing is that I want to help people. I'm supposed to help people get to a place of wholesomeness that's founded on God's love.
All right.
Okay. And that is huge, right? So my purpose is to help people get to a place of wholesomeness that is founded on God's love. It doesn't mean that I have to go to everybody and preach to them, but I have to operate in so much love that everyone that I come across, in whatever part that I meet them, I can help them come to a higher level from a place of love. And one thing that nobody can deny is when they experience love. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody knows who treated them in love, in kindness, and who did not.
Oh yes.
All of us know it.
We know.
And so for wherever I meet people, my gifting is to help bring out the best out of them and take them to a level where they want to go. Right? I call myself the kingmaker.
Yeah.
And it goes for both men and women.
They call him Mafo in the class.
Yes, they call him Mafo. And I call myself kingmaker because it's impossible to be around me and stay the same. I'm saying it's impossible. Unless you cut your time short.
That's so true, because I'm getting transformed right now.
If you stick around me, I promise you can never stay the same. And the reason I can make kings is because I know that I am a queen. And because of that, I can't give you less of what I am. I can impact you less of what I am. So all that I am is all that is created around me.
Oh wow, I do resonate with what you're saying.
Yes.
I know I have huge respect and admiration for you as a person.
Thank you.
Your soul is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And with what you're doing for our community over back in the States, we've seen you, vouch for them, when it comes to their taxes, their finances. I'll just go all the way out giving these secrets out, and that's you impact our community so much. Now, this is what I really want to know. How has your personal branding influenced your journey so far?
Oh, that is good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I realized that, people first need to know that you care before they want to do business with you.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think everyone who has encountered me, it's not hard to know that I genuinely have love for my community. I genuinely have love for people, and I want to see people succeed. So when people see that, it's not hard for them to want to work with me.
Amazing.
And I think everyone is so important that we should show people our heart first before we start wanting to do business with them.
So you're saying your reputation is out there?
Yes.
And you're not hiding it for anyone?
No.
If you want to know who is Lilly, there's a website, there's everything she does. She puts, except her private life, but what you guys need to know, she puts it out there. And that's able to inspire so many people.
You need to know my principles. Right?
Exactly.
You need to know that I honor God in everything that I do.
Yes.
You need to know that when you work with me, I'm a person who is all about giving. So you can't come to me if you're a selfish person. Because
it's not gonna work.
You have to always think bigger than yourself. And people don't realize that it always comes back. It may not even be us. It might be future generations.
Of course.
But when you give, everything you do, whether it's in sharing knowledge, whether it's in pouring out love or kindness, it's seeds you're sowing. And the beauty of it is, even if you don't eat of the fruits, someone down your lineage will eat of the fruits.
And the fulfillment alone is just enough. It's just enough.
And I'm not even doing it because I hope to eat of any fruit. I think I'm blessed enough where I'm not bothered to just keep pouring. And when I talk of blessing, many people who are limited think blessing is in resources. But blessing is in figuring out who you are and knowing whose you are. And realizing that you have endless resources from your source, God. That alone, you're blessed. Because your mind has already given you the opportunity to recognize that you're not limited in any way, shape, or form by people, by circumstances, by your environment. God got you. And that's the most important.
God got you guys.
Yes.
God got you. So there's something I'm very ignorant about.
Yes.
I don't know what it takes to become a CPA.
That's
Alright,
good.
you see, and you move from being a CPA to being a doctor, now you're going to be a professor. Tell us about that journey. Just kind of explain it, because it's not common, to see a young girl from Bamenda. Local girl from Bamenda.
Yeah.
Tell me your kati, your quarter.
Hey, my two.
Yes.
My two questions.
Going all the way.
Yes.
To become a global brand.
Yes.
Just tell us what does it take to become a CPA?
So first thing I have to point out is that these are all independent routes.
Yes.
Now they do come together. They all support each other, but they're independent.
Yes.
So a CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant.
Okay.
And this is someone who has gone through rigorous education, which means you've gone through 4 years of undergraduate, you've gone through a master's degree to earn 150 credit hours. Then it qualifies you as an accountant, right? With accounting degrees. It qualifies you now to sit for the exam.
Okay.
The exam is 4 parts. When you take that exam and you pass all 4 parts, they give you 18 months to pass that exam.
Yes.
So if you fail, you have to retake.
Retake. Okay.
So there are people that when you pass a section, it only has 18 months. So if you don't pass all the other 3 within that time, the one you pass first will expire. You have to retake it.
Okay.
And there are people that have been taking the exam for 5 years or more.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now when you're done with the exam, you've just passed the exam. You cannot operate yet as a CPA. You're going to have
Certified
to work,
public accountant.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to work under another CPA to
Right.
get the professional experience.
Okay.
And then after that,
For how long?
a year.
A year. Okay.
Every state board is different, but mostly a year.
Okay.
And then once that person now certifies you,
Yeah.
they send it to the board. You do an application to the board. The board now licenses you.
Okay.
So every state will license you as a
Alright.
CPA.
Alright.
Until you become licensed, you cannot practice as a CPA. So you cannot sign somebody's financial record.
That's why when I met you were working for one company.
Yes.
It was at the time that you were taking.
So the beauty with me is that I had finished my CPA exams a while back.
Yes.
So even when you're licensed, you can work for other companies.
All right.
You understand?
So
It's
at the
just
time
that
you were already licensed.
So here's the interesting part.
Yes.
Now, I was done with my exam,
Yes.
but I was not licensed in the state of Virginia.
Okay, I get it.
So now, because I had been done with my exam years before, I became I finished all my exams 2012.
Yes.
I used to be in Texas,
Yes.
but I worked in so many companies. When you work for companies, you don't need to be licensed.
Okay.
Unless you're signing financial statements, which I was not.
Yes.
So when I moved to Virginia now, I needed to get a state license from Virginia.
Okay.
So what I did now was I did continuous education credit because I have to prove to them that I'm keeping up.
Keeping up
my
with
knowledge.
the discipline.
And it's very important to point out that even when you become licensed, every year you must renew.
Okay.
And part of renewal is that you have to keep taking continuous education credit. So you have to keep up with the changes in the laws.
You're refreshing everything.
And if you don't
Recycling.
do that, because that way you don't want to give people outdated information.
Okay.
So when they see someone is a CPA, you want to make sure that they are licensed.
Okay.
Because if you have a problem and they tell you we need a certified letter from a CPA,
Yeah.
if your CPA is not licensed, they cannot sign it.
Okay, I get it.
You understand? And they make it that way that every year we have to renew, so that way we stay up to date with the changes in the law. So there's a database in the US that you can go in and verify who's licensed.
Okay.
Okay. So that's one.
Yes.
So I was a CPA.
Yes.
I did that. I have my own accounting firm,
Yeah.
right?
The
The ARC NPS.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I wanted to make sure that I position myself not just to be a firm that works with businesses, but I wanted to help leadership too. I've always been very passionate about leadership. My master's is in leadership, my MBA.
Yeah.
And I realized that there was a strong connection between every leader's decisions and finances.
Okay.
Every decision a leader makes
Mm-hmm.
impacts the finances of the company.
Oh, wow.
Everyone.
Oh, wow.
And it was very important that if I was going into leadership coaching,
Yeah.
that I could show them how those things align. Down
Okay.
to people, every single thing.
Okay.
So that's where I got my doctorate in.
Okay.
So that when I brought in now my consulting and coaching for business leaders,
Yes.
I could be showing them now the financial side from the CPA side.
That's
You see what
that's professional now.
That's professional.
Yeah.
Now, all of this now help because becoming a professor, first of all, I was reached out by my university.
Okay.
And they
The
contacted
same
me.
university you had your doctorate.
I had my doctorate, Regent University,
Mm.
and so they reached out to me and they said this position has been open, and they would, if I'm available, they would love for me.
What makes you suitable for the role? Is it the fact
And
that
I'm
you
coming to that.
practice?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had to come to that now.
Yeah.
What made me very suitable for the role is because the university wanted to revamp that particular course
Yes.
so it can focus on small businesses.
Oh, I get it.
So now, not only am I already teaching, which is a powerful tool, but I have my doctorate.
Yes.
And then now, because I'm a CPA who
Yes.
works with small businesses, I'm the best person for this because I had to come in and actually do a revamp of
Yes.
the curriculum, so the curriculum can serve the business owner.
you got cutting edge knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
because now most MBA students are not leaving to work for corporations.
Yes.
A lot of them are setting up their own entities.
Yeah.
How do we create now an accounting course for MBA students that when they leave, they're applying it
They become service providers.
Yes, in their own ways,
yes,
right?
You can have your agency.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to do a whole overhaul, which is what I've been doing. And prior to that, I've also been teaching at another university, Hampton University. They have a program, it's V-Week, which is for business owners.
All right.
The difference now with these two is this is for business owners, minority business owners.
Yes.
I teach accounting, I teach financial forecasting.
Oh, wow.
Anyone listening to this, let me tell you something. Nothing is more important than finances in your business.
Oh, no way.
I don't care if you have the best staff.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have the best product. If you do not know what is coming into your company and what is going out at any point in time, you're in trouble.
Miss Auntie Kisley, I know you're happy with this right now.
Yes. that is crucial.
Yeah.
And so in that program, I teach accounting for business owners, but I also teach financial forecasting.
Okay.
Because every business owner needs to know where they're going to.
Yes.
You need to be able to project.
All right.
If you have to go talk to the bank and say, I need 100 million CFA,
yes.
What are you going to do with that money? You need to show them that part. How are you going to pay us back?
Exactly.
You need to show them that. So those are things that help.
Yeah.
But then the difference with that is these are business owners that are not necessarily in an academic environment. So what changes now in my university is that I'm teaching master's level students.
Okay.
They are in an academic environment. This is an accredited university. And so the standards are very different, extremely complex, really high. And so that experience from that university as well, and then all of what I've been doing, my work with small businesses, prepared me for this.
Oh, wow.
So these are different parts, but you see how they came together. Absolutely.
That's why they say it's difficult to connect the dots.
Yes.
Looking forward.
But when you look back, Steve Jobs.
You can always connect. This is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Now there's something I learned from you, and it changed my whole perspective. And it got me to go back to school when I said something about about degrees, scholars, intellectuals, something like that, and you caught my attention. You know, what was that again?
I forgot it was something. We're talking about this thing of academia.
Academia. Okay, what you guys should know about me is that I'm self-taught. I'm not as schooled with great credentials as Lilly, so I'm self-taught. So that gives me, I'm kind of limited in certain things. You see, so there was a time I was glorifying the self-taught industry.
Yes.
And it caught my attention. That's it. There's a difference between a scholar and an intellectual, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. That changed my perspective the way you put it. So, and this is because you said something to me. You said, see, when you have credentials, right, there are doors it will open.
Yes. I agree.
Than when you don't have. That's why I went to school. You know.
Yes.
Dr. Decham, Clifford Decham will tell you about this. I went to him. I said, see, I need to improve my credentials as a business person because the level that my business is taking, I want to back it up with something.
You have to.
And he was really happy with that, and he started helping me.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yes.
How important is school?
Yes.
So from that day, I stopped saying no school. Now I'm telling people, guys, go to school.
Yes.
Go to the highest level because the truth is this. Someone with a PhD is living a whole different lifestyle from someone who hasn't got it. Someone with a degree, advanced level, is living a whole different lifestyle from one who hasn't got it.
Yes.
You know, even the way they just interact and behave is quite different. So school, right now, man, I go for school, guys.
Yes. School
go to school. See Lilly right here.
Yes.
Someone like you, if you decide to come back to Cameroon, you could be a minister.
We're planning on it though. That's not far.
You could be a minister. It's people like you that become ministers in other nations. And Africa is changing where the young people are taking over, you know, the leadership. And the nation of Cameroon needs you. Africa needs you. So are you planning to return?
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, I want to talk about this school thing because it's very important, right? We did talk about it.
Of course.
You know, I'm very big on self-education. We can't cancel that. Right? I'm big on self-education because they are also uneducated PhD holders.
That's crazy.
There are PhD holders that have a degree or a certificate, which is a piece of paper.
Yes.
But outside of that, they know nothing.
Okay.
So I'm very big on self-taught knowledge.
Okay.
People that take the time to invest in advancing themselves.
Yeah.
They read books. They watch videos.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's very important. But there are levels that if you need to go to, unless you make a ton of money where your money just speaks for you.
Yeah. And not in Africa anyways.
Yes. But there are levels that, for you to get to, you need a certain level of education.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, I know people just say it's MBA, but I can read my books on my business, but they are forgetting that you need to understand finance, you need to understand marketing, there are all these things, and they have been structured in a way that can help you. They will propel you. The one you do in that 1 year or 2 year course, if you were doing it self-taught, because you don't know where to start, you always keep gambling.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But you deal with experts that will propel you so fast, and then you build relationships that will open doors.
Relationship most especially that will open doors.
And I always tell people, if you want to go by experience, at some point everybody will have experience. You see, but not everybody's going to have a degree.
Or an MBA or a doctorate.
So if you have the opportunity to push yourself, do it. Now, at the start of your business, is that the most important? No. Because it's not education that makes you a successful business person.
Yeah.
Well, not structured education.
Yes.
It's self-education that makes you a successful business.
Yes.
But there are also levels that you will not be able to go in your business on. You keep bringing other people to do it for you, and you'll be clueless. Not that you shouldn't get people to do what you know, if it's going to save you time, but at least have some working knowledge, right? Before you're bringing other people. So I always encourage education. I know that people have wasted a lot of money taking courses they did not need. It's because we didn't know.
Yeah, lack of orientation.
It's that lack of orientation. That's why it's good to do the self-study. Yeah. So when you decide to go into that environment, there's even more clarity on what you want to do with that.
Exactly.
Exactly. So please let no one tell themselves that school is a scam. It's not a scam. If you know what you want to use it for, then it will never be a scam. Because education has opened more doors for me. That I'm good at business, you know that.
Yeah,
I love business. I was born for this.
Yes.
I know, like it's like this for me. But even at that, I also know the importance of having that structured education and the doors that it has opened for me, and even the respect that it gives you. Because it's very important to as a business person, not just to be liked, but to be respected. Which means there'll be times you may not like me, but you cannot deny the fact that I know what I'm talking about.
That's it. I can be backed,
And it can be backed.
So guys, this is it. Like she's talking about the respect for it, and just to go forward, what elements, right?
Yes.
Do you think Africans need, when it comes to career orientation?
Yeah.
To how to position themselves in the global economy that's changing.
Ooh, I love that. John, trust me, it's mindset shift first. You see what you're doing every day?
Yeah.
It's mindset shift. Let me tell you, when a person has a mindset of someone who wants to be valuable, it does not matter where you are.
Okay. And you told me this. You said, John, it doesn't matter where you are, because then you say, no, leader, I'm in Cameroon now.
Yeah, I used to tell you.
Yes.
Because of your mindset.
And you told me that there's going to come a time when people will be coming for you. Lily, I don't have time right now.
See?
Like, tomorrow I'm on a book.
We talked about it all the time.
I'm booked like crazy on this. I showed my wife my schedule and she was overwhelmed. You said, come on.
Yes. Yeah.
You told me that
it doesn't
like
matter
2 years ago. It's happening.
It does not matter where you are. Once your mind has shifted to becoming a person of value, a person who wants to give, a person who wants to impact those around, it doesn't matter where they put you. And the thing is that money will chase value. The problem with our mindset is because we're so hungry, we're chasing money instead of value. And so what happens is, even when good opportunities come, because it doesn't have the size of money that we think it should have, we lose it. You understand? John, a lot of doors open for me. It was never because I was paid for what I did before it opened that door.
That's it. That takes me to the last question. People will see all these successes that we're talking about, we're celebrating right now, but they don't know the dark side.
Oh, yes.
So Lily, I've been your friend for quite a long time, and we shared a lot together. And I know a part of your story that wasn't easy. It was very challenging.
Very.
Tell us about it, because people just think that CPA, FDA, doctorate, professor. Now she just got married. This our life is just blessed. It's a Christ came for her.
Before coming here, there was a thing that was in my spirit, and I started typing it before I came here. And what I was talking about was the fact that I have never subscribed to the concept of hate. Where people say someone, you have haters, right? Hey, let me do them.
You've never seen
I've never subscribed. We don't have that. And what I was talking about is because if someone makes you feel as if they're envying what you have, is because they don't. 3 things are happening here. They have wrong information, they have a limited information, or they have the wrong perspective. Because if a person understands the price that you have paid and the price you're still paying for that glory, they will not want it. In fact, they might not hug you.
Yes.
They might not want it, but they'll come and hug you.
Yes.
Sometimes it's limited information in the sense that they think it just happened boom, without knowing that there was a process to it, right? Yeah. And it can cause them to want to downplay. Like someone will say, oh no, because a papa na the person, or na uncle be the person. That's limited information. They don't know that this person put in the work. Right?
So much.
So, and then the last part of it is just the wrong perspective.
Yes.
Because some people think that you can, for example, you can see a cute girl and someone will just assume because she's cute, she's sleeping around.
Yes.
Right? Or a good looking guy, someone will assume that, oh, you can have all the girls, it's a gigolo.
Yes.
Those are wrong perspectives.
Yeah.
And someone can see you travel and think, oh, because you're traveling, you're borrowing money.
Yes.
Those are wrong perspectives. And so when these things are happening, it's easy for people to look at other people's successes and feel a type of way, but they don't know that prices have been paid. And when it comes to mine, because of how big my assignment was, it's very important that I point out to people that God had to prepare me for it. And part of what God had to do is that He had to strip me of everything that I felt added value to who I was, that I felt defined who I was. People that I thought because I showed up for them would show up for me. And God needed me to first learn to recognize His voice, but second, to know that He is my source, which means even if I had nothing, I had Him. That's enough. And that was very difficult because the way that God will teach you that is that He strips you of everything.
And you start from zero.
You start from zero. So before that, I was the person who always used to brag. I used to say if I go for an interview, I must get the job.
Yes.
Because I'm an accountant.
Yes.
But I have personality.
And a smart one.
So it's like, how will I not get the job, right?
Yeah.
And I used to brag on those things.
Yes.
But you see, the thing we forget is that it's God that gave us the ability. And it's so easy to think, oh, I could just snap another job.
Yes.
See,
it's not that easy.
I had these jobs lined up,
Yes.
You know what God was doing? Every time I go for an interview, they are all excited. Then the next day they'll call me. We just put the position on hold. My recruiter called me. This guy, he was like,
what's wrong?
What's happening? 5 jobs. Everybody will call. We put it on hold. But
that was the season.
God stripping me off. No, but it's because He wanted me to understand that He was the one
to do it
that opened those doors. It was never my ability. You understand? Because I had gotten so caught up in I have this fun personality, I'm smart, I'm this, I cannot lack a job. And He showed me, these are 5 jobs in front of you, you will not get even one.
Even one. Because it's not you. It's not about you.
It was never about me. But that was the first thing. And then resources-wise, stripped me.
Yes.
That's when I learned when you say that I depend on God. Guys, there's nothing that can impress me. There's nobody with money that can ever impress me. Because you see, everybody is like this.
Let me say, at one point, you and Anna, you guys were selling some perfumes.
Yes.
To make a living, yeah.
Yes. Because God stripped me of
everything. And Anna was how many years old back then?
She was like 6.
You see?
And He was trying to show me that, look, you see these things, I give it.
Yes.
I can take it. So you cannot sit and start bragging on yourself. And all of those things led me to that place of intimacy with God, right? Not having anything.
Yeah.
We lost everything. I was staying with my aunt, right? You know, my aunt saw me. I mean, the day they came and repossessed my car. I love this car here. I have this here. I dressed myself. I look like this. I parked the car here.
Yes.
Where's the car?
The car. You're not paying. Boy, embarrassing. I relate with that when my landlord kicked me out of my apartment.
Yes.
You know, I can relate with that.
Yes. So we went through all of that.
Yeah.
And what God was teaching me in that season was the fact that I want you to know that first, it starts with me.
Yes.
And because of that, first, my relationship with God grew so deep. The way God picked people from everywhere to show up for me. That's when I knew that you cannot play with God.
No way.
The people that He sent my way, there were people that I had loaned money to, people that saw me give them my rent, and they were nowhere to be found. But he raised up people in that season, and all He was doing was teaching me that you can never get caught up in who you know, you can never get caught up in what you have. None of that. You have to stay trusting me. And that's why, Galaxy, I'm not distracted by any noise. If you know me, I don't do anything to impress people.
No, yes.
Once me and God are in alignment, that's enough for me. I don't need anybody's applause. I don't need any of that. Because it's me and Him. He will always have my back so long as I'm honoring him in what I do. I'm fulfilling purpose and making sure that his love and his light is all that is coming out of me in how I'm impacting his children.
Oh, man.
I don't have anything else.
You said, one element I picked from that is the sincerity of intent.
Yes.
You see, guys, when you are sincerely loving people and aligning with God's purpose in your life, doors will open.
Oh my God.
Miraculously.
Big time.
Really, it's been a pleasure.
It has.
You know, you and I could talk for.
Yes, 2 of us.
But I know your schedule.
Yes,
it's a
it's
busy
really
one.
tight. Yes, it's really
great,
tight.
great AD for me.
You here.
Mr. Yonka.
Mr. Yonka.
So, Mrs. Yonka, so this note that we have to close the curtain of this unscripted edition of on my interview with Lilly. Lilly is someone I respect a lot, I admire a lot. She and I will come a long way. You guys already know it. You know, people know us online now. And these two people, they got mad love and respect for each other.
Yes.
And it's so amazing that I'm far right here and you're right over there, and we're able to have this kind of bond together.
Yes.
So
because the heart is right.
Yes. I think in our next life, our both parents will meet and celebrate that our children are coming.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
John, thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. This was nice. Thank you.
Hey, Lilly.
Cheers.